Imagine a night where the line between reality and nightmare blurs. This is Emily's story. A tale that begins with a simple dare but spirals into a night of unimaginable terror. Emily and Jake were inseparable, always daring each other to explore the creepiest places in town. They thrived on the adrenaline rush, the thrill of the unknown. Their latest challenge was no different, or so they thought. So when Jake challenged Emily to check out the abandoned house at the edge of the woods, she couldn't back down. The house had a reputation, whispered about in hushed tones. It was said to be haunted by the spirits of those who had vanished within its walls. Armed with just a flashlight, they stepped inside. The air was thick with dust and the scent of decay. The floorboards creaked under their feet, each step echoing through the empty halls. The door creaked shut behind them and the air grew thick, almost suffocating. It was as if the house itself was alive, breathing, watching their every move. Silence enveloped them, broken only by the distant drip of water. The silence was oppressive, pressing down on them, making it hard to breathe. As they ventured deeper, Emily felt a chill run down her spine. The shadows seemed to move, shifting and twisting in the dim light. She couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. Faint footsteps echoed behind them, though no one else was there. The sound was faint, almost imperceptible, but it was enough to set their nerves on edge. "Jake, stop messing around," she whispered, but Jake swore it wasn't him. His voice was steady, but his eyes betrayed his fear. They both knew something was terribly wrong. Suddenly, a deafening crash came from upstairs, followed by the eerie sound of a child's laughter. The sound was chilling, echoing through the empty halls, sending shivers down their spines. Panic set in. They could feel the walls closing in, the darkness pressing down on them. Every instinct screamed at them to run, to get out, but there was nowhere to go. They bolted for the door, but it was gone. The doorway they had entered through was now a solid wall, trapping them inside. In its place, a solid wall. The realization hit them like a punch to the gut. They were trapped with no way out. "Jake, what's happening?" Emily cried, her voice shaking. Her heart pounded in her chest, each beat echoing in her ears. Then she heard Jake's voice from behind her, but it sounded off. It was distorted, as if coming from a great distance or through a veil of static. "Emily, I've been trying to leave, but you keep holding me back." "Oh." The words made no sense, but the fear in his voice was unmistakable. She turned around, her heart pounding. The room was empty. Jake was nowhere to be seen. Jake was gone, just his voice echoing softly. "Please, let me out." The voice was faint, almost a whisper, but it was enough to send a wave of terror through her. Emily's nightmare had just begun. The house seemed to come alive around her, the walls closing in, the shadows growing darker, and the worst part? She was all alone. The realization hit her like a ton of bricks. She was trapped with no way out and no one to help her. Will she find a way out, or will the house claim another victim? The question hung in the air, heavy with dread. Stay tuned to find out. The night was far from over, and the horrors that awaited Emily were just beginning. The house had many secrets, and it was determined to keep them hidden, no matter the cost.